Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. I listened to the tone of President William Samoei Ruto today in that occasion where the government officials were signing a performance contract, and that tone is a very unusual tone. It is not a familiar tone. It was not the usual Ruto who will always come to talk so that people laugh. It was not the tone and the voice of the person who always speaks music into the ears just to get a standing ovation. I also looked at the body language of the president, and for some reasons this was a unique William Ruto. Whether it is his usual manner of woodwinking people, I don't know. But I must admit that I saw a different William Ruto. Three things happened today that if you ask me, if you ask anybody, they will tell you that something is cooking. And what is it that is cooking? William Ruto took that opportunity to sack a certain lady whom he said is very corrupt and has been in the Ministry of Transport for a certain period of time, and she has been untouchable. Of course, Murkomen confirmed that the lady is not working. They cracked the whip. And then he took the bull by its horns by locking out the officials who came late, and he made it very clear that the moment you come late to a meeting, or you allow your boss or your employer to get to a meeting venue before you, you have already sacked yourself. And of course, people were shocked that Moses Kuria and even Kithure Kindiki were victims. With these actions, William Ruto wanted to send a message. But I want you to listen to William explaining and admitting that his PSS and CSS are incompetent, because anytime he calls them to explain something within their ministries, within their dockets, they fumble. And he says this is the height of incompetence. I want you to listen to William Ruto, his tone, and look at the body language.
Ministries or departments, you have very scanty information. The moment I know more than you in your ministry, then you must begin to understand that something is very wrong. Because by constitution, you are supposed to advise me. Explain to me how you are going to advise me if you have less information than I do. Who is going to be advising who? I call many PSs. You ask them what's going on here. They have no clue. And this is your department. That is the job that you have. You are not a messenger. You are not a security person. You are not a photographer. You are not a watchman. You are the PS or the minister. And the job of the minister and the PS you don't know, or you don't have information. How do you run a ministry or a department or a parastatal if you have no information? That is the highest level of incompetence.
Kindly subscribe to our channel if you are watching us for the first time. Click the notification bell and like our videos. You can also share this particular video. To those who support us, I want to say thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, I want to give you only 3 reasons why I believe that William Ruto is soon reshuffling his cabinet. Number 1, for him to admit that he is operating with an incompetent staff and telling it to the nation means that he has only but given them a warning. It is like he's getting them into probation time. And within no time, William Ruto will crack the whip. And he will do this to redeem himself, because there has been a public notion that he appointed incompetent people into office. Now, for him to come and corroborate what has been in the public courts of opinions, it means that he's ready, because he cannot admit appointing incompetent staff and continues to work with them for a long period, because this is the team that he says will help him achieve the KK agenda. And so expect a reshuffle sooner than later, because he wants to get public confidence. He wants people to trust him, because he continues to assure them that he means well and that he will implement every little promise that he gave them. I listened to him say that there are certain members of the clergy who tells him that he made such an ambitious promise that he needs to sacrifice or compromise. And he's saying that he disagrees with those people who tell him that he can compromise a little bit above the promises that he gave to Kenyans. By his own admission that members of the clergy advise him otherwise, he wants to sympathize with the people who he think are not giving him the best advice. There has been a public outcry that William Ruto has detached himself from the people who voted for him, quotes in quotes, and is now being held hostage by a few people in government. People like the clergy, who always want to surround him. And the clergy just represents the clique that feels that William Ruto is theirs. And he wants to detach himself from them. By locking out people like the CS in the minutes in the docket of trade, Moses Kuria, and Kithure Kindiki, someone I believe is his friend, he is sending a warning that he is now ready to crack the whip. Because many a times when you get into office, you reward your friends, those who helped you campaign, those who funded your campaigns, those who feel that they own you. Like today, a story is given that there was a secret night meeting chaired by Madam Anne Waiguru, the chairman of the Council of Governors, and they wanted to look at how their interests will be carried and will be taken care of, especially in the midst of the looming ongoing talks between Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. And I even listened to Boni Halwale warning the Mount Kenya legislators to stop holding William Ruto hostage, because there is a general feeling that sometimes William Ruto would try to mean well. And I'm not saying that he's an angel. Sometimes he wants to do something, but there is a clique that does not want him to do whatever he wants. And so William Ruto is sending a message that he will soon do that which they don't think he can do. And he will start by relieving people of their jobs, and it will be from central, because he wants to create respect and fear. Ameamua mambo ya kuzoeana hataki tena, because many a times when you allow people hold you hostage, you cannot work. Today it's reported that there are people who don't want him to talk to Raila. There are people who want him to continue butchering people, killing and maiming and tear gassing them. And he needs to disentangle himself. And the only way he will do this is by reshuffling. Once you relieve a few people of their duties, people who maybe the Kenyan citizen did not think you could touch the untouchables, then they know you mean business. That is why he gave instruction that this lady who had been terrorizing the transport ministry, this lady that was untouchable, must now be kicked out. And with this, he will make sure that he touches on those hard nuts that cannot be cracked, so that people will know that William Ruto means business. He will also reshuffle his government to show the international community that is giving him pressure to ensure that he has competent people who are not corrupt, because the IMF is giving much more stringent conditions. Together with this, he wants to show the opposition that he means well, because Raila has led an onslaught telling William Ruto that his cabinet is incompetent. People say that he rewarded those with very dwarf academic background, and he rewarded his cronies. So he might decide to reshuffle to include a cabinet that reflects the face of Kenya, people from different communities. I know he has tried this, but it's all out there that they had mentioned through his deputy president that this is a Kenya Kwanza limited company, and only those who voted for them have got shares. And their appointment, in the appointment, the Kalenjin and the Kikuyu community always get a lion's share. He might decide to move some people out to replace them with other tribes, so that he can redeem himself, and people will say that, oh, William Ruto has started. And this is the reason why I'm telling you that his body language today and his tone really reveals that he is really grappling with a lot of thoughts within his mind. He might just decide to do something that people will be shocked and surprised.